If you're an IB chemistry student, this is what I want to share with you. You want to do this as a checklist whether you have a proper structure of your chemistry internal assessment. Okay, so we'll start off with the structure of the design part. So remember at the first you should have your title, your personal candidate number, and also your word count. Don't put your name on the lab report, and also recall that the word count is 3,000 words maximum. Now moving on is your background introduction. This gives a brief introduction on what the marker should know about your research question. And then moving on is going to be the variable. The variable should include the independent variable, dependent variable, and also control variable. Right. Then you want to introduce your methodology, okay, how you're going to do this experiment, okay, what are the procedures, etc., etc. Okay, and then it's going to be the risk assessment, which includes the safety concern, okay, environmental concern, and also the ethical concern if there are any. Okay. I'll talk about these in detail in the next clip. Okay. I'll talk about the structure first, then moving on to the data part. You want to have a qualitative data and also quantitative data. Now for quantitative data, make sure you have sufficient raw data. Okay. Now moving on is you need to show the marker how you can go from the raw data to the process data. So in this case, you want to show a sample calculation. Okay. And also, when you're doing the process data, you should do uncertainty propagation as well. Okay, this is a huge part in the rubric. Once you've done the process data and then you've also done the uncertainty propagation, what's next is the graph. In the graph, it would be best that you can show the best fit line, whether it's a straight line or a curve, also with error bar and a maximum line and minimum line if this is possible. Okay. Moving on to the structure of the conclusion part, what you want to know, okay, or what you want to write down is that you want to let the marker know how reliable your data can support or reject your hypothesis. Okay. So what should it be include? So first you want to restate what the relationship between the independent variable and dependent variable. And you want to restate what the mathematical equation of the graph of the best fit line. Okay. Or you may want to describe the shape of the graph again. Okay. Etc. Okay, but this is not enough. Okay, the reason is because you want to discuss the impact of the uncertainty or the impact of error bar. You want to discuss how reliable your best fit line is it. Okay, and then you also need to compare with a literature value. If there is no literature value, then at least you need to compare with a trend, or maybe you can compare with basically a theoretical framework, whether the data that you collect, whether it is whether it's reliable, whether it is it's kind of matching with what you have once theoretically hypothesized. Okay, so this is basically in terms of precision or in terms of accuracy, showing the marker how reliable your result is, so that you make a final conclusion whether uh, the IV and DV, whether the relationship is as you expected. And so moving on to the final part is the evaluation part. Okay, you want to follow the weakness impact improvement framework. Okay, that means you are not writing listing all the weakness and then you list out all the impact and then you list out all the improvement. No, okay. It should be weakness, impact, improvement, and then another weakness, impact, and then improvement, and then another weakness. You discuss this impact and improvement. Okay. So after you stating what the weakness or what the limitation is going to be, okay, you want to discuss whether there is a systematic error or a random error. Okay. If it's a systematic error, remember it has a direction. It's either consistently higher than expected or consistently lower than expected. In this case, you want to discuss the impact of this error on the accuracy of the result if it's a systematic error. Okay. If it's a random error, then you want to discuss the impact on the precision of the result. Okay. And then you provide a realistic improvement. Now, this is the whole structure of a lab report, with the very last part is a reference. Okay, remember the reference that you want to list out, it should be in alphabetical order, and please check again. Okay, you should have in-text citation in your lab report. So that's the structure. Okay, for the coming videos, I will talk about each part in detail.